Okay, this is lesson 1, probability introduction. What do you know about probability? We'll be discussing that in class. Um, what do you know? Um, it's a fraction. It's a decimal, can turn into a percent, different things like that. But what are we going to learn about probability is how to interpret probabilities. Okay. How to interpret them, how to compute probabilities, how to estimate, how to, oh, sorry, my eye itches. How to interpret probability of an event, and experimental versus theoretical. Okay. Next. All right. Suppose that you and a friend are about to play a game using the spinner here. Okay. Decide who will go first. Okay. Each person picks a color. Both players cannot pick the same color. Each person takes a turn spinning the spinner and recording what color the spinner stops on. The winner is the person whose color is the first to that happens to get it 10 times. Okay. So for example, if we were to spin this spinner, okay, and I'm going to spin this and mark these down. So we have green, and red, green, and blue, blue, and green, green, blue, and blue, and red, red, and green, it looks like blue, red, and I'm picking green, just to let you know. Blue, okay, green, red, green, red, red, blue, green, red, and blue. All right, so it says play the game. Remember to record the color the spinner taps on each spin. So the first player whose color is the first to happen 10 times. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So green only ended up 8 times. So green ended up 8 times. It didn't even get to 10. Okay. And here's what came out. We had red was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Red was 8. And blue was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I miscounted for the red. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I don't think I did. Something happened wrong here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So they all landed on 8. Son of a gun. But which one was first? So we've got actually green. So green landed first. So green won. Okay. So now it says which color was the first to occur 10 times? And in this case, actually 8 times. Okay. And that was green. Do you think it makes a difference who goes first to pick the color? Answer, yes. Which color would you pick to give you the best chance of winning the game? Green. Because it is the largest section. Okay. Now, below are 3 different spinners. On which spinner is the green likely to win, unlikely to win, and equally likely to win? Well, spinner A is equally likely. Spinner B is likely to win. And spinner C is unlikely. Okay. So next, it says, what is the probability? Okay. Probability is the measure of how likely it is that an event will happen. A probability is indicated by a number between 0 and 1. So in other words, it's a fraction. For some events are certain to happen while others are impossible. In most cases, the probability of an event happening is somewhere between certain and impossible. For example, considering a bag that contains only red cubes. If you were to select one cube from the bag, you are certain to pick a red one. We say that an event that is certain to happen has a probability of 1. If we were to reach into the same bag of cubes, it is impossible to select a yellow cube. An impossible event has the probability of 0. So some events are impossible. These events have a probability of 0. Okay, so for example, you have a bag with 2 green cubes. You select one at random. Selecting a blue cube is an impossible event. There is no way to select a blue cube if there are no blue cubes in the bag. Some events are certain. These events have a probability of 1. You have a bag with 2 green cubes, and you select one at random. Selecting a green cube is a certain event. You will always get a green cube if there are only green cubes in the bag. Some events are classified as equally likely to occur. These have a probability of 1/2. You have a bag with 1 blue cube and 1 red cube, and you randomly pick one. Selecting a blue cube is equally likely to occur. Since exactly half of the bag is made up of blue cubes and exactly half of the bag comprises of red cubes, there is a 50-50 chance equally likely of selecting a blue cube and a 50-50 chance of equally likely of not selecting a blue cube. Some events are more likely to occur than not occur. More likely to occur than not occur. These events are probability that are greater than 0.5. These events are likely to occur. If you have a bag that contains 8 blue cubes and 2 red cubes, and you select one at random, it is likely that you will get a blue cube. Even though it is not certain that you will get a blue cube would be selected most of the time because there are many more blue cubes than red cubes. And last, some events are less likely to occur than not to occur. These events have a probability that is less than 0.5. These events could be described as unlikely to occur. If you have a bag that contains 8 blue cubes and 2 red cubes, and you select one at random, it is unlikely that you will get a red cube. Even though it is not impossible to get a red cube would not be selected very often because there are many more blue cubes than red cubes. Okay? So now, let's look at a probability scale. It goes from 0 to 1. Okay? And let's look at these exercises. Okay? Decide where each event would be located on the scale above. Place the letter for each event in the appropriate place on the scale. You will see a live dinosaur on the way home from school today. Well, considering there's no live dinosaurs, that's impossible. So that's A. A solid rock dropped in the water will sink. Well, that's an absolute, that's certain. A round disc with one side red and the other side yellow will land on yellow side up when flipped. Well, that's equally likely to occur. A spinner with 4 equal parts, numbered 1 through 4, will land on the 4 on the next spin. That is unlikely because it's 1 out of 4. Your full name will be drawn when a full name is selected randomly from a bag containing the full names of all the students in your class. I would say that's somewhere between impossible and unlikely, but I'm going to put that in unlikely because of the number of people in your class. So I'm going to say that's E here, unlikely. A red cube will be drawn when a cube is selected from a bag that has 5 blue cubes and 5 red cubes. Well, that would be equally likely. And then tomorrow, the temperature outside will be negative 250 degrees. That is impossible. So that is G here. Okay. So next it says design a spinner so that the probability of spinning a green is 1. So all you have to do is draw a circle and write green. Because everything in it, there you go, sorry guys. So because you want the whole thing to be green, because you want nothing else there. Okay? Next. Design a spinner so that the probability of spinning green is 0. Well, if I draw a spinner, it has to have no green in it, so I'm going to mark red. Then it says design a spinner with 2 outcomes in which they are equally likely to land on red and green. Okay? It says an event. Okay, an event. That is, sorry. We're almost done too. An event that is impossible has a probability of 0 and will never occur. No matter how many observations you make, this means that in a long sequence of observations, it will occur 0% of the time. An event that is certain has a probability of 1 and will always occur. This means that in a long sequence of observations, it will occur 100% of the time. What do you think it means for an event to have a probability of 1/2? It would occur half the time. What do you think it means for an event to have a probability of 1/4? It would occur once every 4 times. That is our lesson for today.